Hey Shalloners. Well, it's summertime. And I don't know about you, but when I was in school and it was summer break, I had one goal: reinvention. I never changed schools. I never really did anything wild with my academic situation. But nevertheless, every year I wanted new year, new me. So I was constantly thinking of ways to reinvent myself over the summer. And I get a lot of questions from you guys saying, I'm about to go into high school, I'm about to go into college, I'm about to transfer schools. What do I do to reinvent myself, start fresh, leave behind the old me, and most importantly, be popular and make friends in my new situation? Well, I have the answer, because I have all the answers. But before we get into it, just want to remind you guys that if you do want to submit a question to me or chat privately, the best way is on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO. Click chat and I get back to you in a day and we're chatting and it's great. Okay, reinvention. I've thought about this a lot and I really wanted to give you guys good, actionable advice, because what I hate about advice givers is they're like, be yourself. It's like, okay, what? First of all, being yourself is not really helpful advice, because who are you? Who am I? I don't know. It's really hard, especially when you're young, to have a very clear and precise sense of who you are. Like for me as an adult, especially as a New Yorker, because we're all very much this way, I am defined by my career. When people ask, what are you? I say, I'm an editor at a magazine. I'm an author. I'm a YouTuber. That's how I define myself. So if you're in school, you can't really be like, I'm a student, because well, no shit, everyone's a student. That's not helpful. So then how do you define yourself? And a lot of us default to, I'm defining myself based on my social strata. Most specifically, if I have a boyfriend. I remember thinking that and when I was in middle school and high school even, girls who had boyfriends, they were in a separate social plane. They were just completely different people living a different life in a different realm that I had no idea about. And that's because I hadn't yet learned how to define myself. So how do you do that? Hobbies, interests, specific niches in the social market. Think of it this way. Celebrities, right? Celebrities are famous, and they are celebrities because they're good at something specific. Football, fashion design, acting, beauty, whatever it might be. YouTube videos about dating. And that's always been the big criticism about the Kardashians. It's they're famous for nothing. What are they good at? Because we as a society acknowledge on some level that celebrity is based on expertise. You got to be real good at something. And if we behave like that in the macro, in all of society, that high school, college, social groups, exact same way. If you look at the people who are popular in your school, usually it's because they stand out for some reason. They're good at something. Now, in my school, we were a bunch of nerds. So the people who were popular were the soccer stars, the volleyball stars, the ASB presidents. They had a specific niche. I understand that my school, because we were so dorky, is a little bit different. And sometimes the popular people at your school, it's the girl with the big boobs. That's what she's good at. But she's good at being hot. That's her thing. Or the girl whose dad is the rich guy in town, and so everyone goes to her lake house over the summer. That's what she's good at, being rich. And I understand that that's beyond her control, and that is why popularity when you're in school is so unfair, because it's how on earth do you compete with something like that? But you can. You compete with that by finding expertise areas of your own. You don't have to be the best soccer player at school. You don't have to be the lacrosse captain. You don't have to be ASB president. You don't have to be president of the French club. But you have to have interests. And I'll tell you why. Not only is that going to give you a chance to stand out amongst this vast, faceless sea of other students, it's going to give you interests. And that is going to give you reasons to bond with other people. You're trying out for the play. Now you're part of the theater crew. You have people in your immediate social circle with whom you share a lot of commonalities, and they are going to give you, that's going to build your self-esteem, because you're going to define yourself further than what guy likes me, what popular girl asked me to sit with her at lunch, what cool jean jacket am I wearing, what car does my mom drive. You're going to have self-esteem based on your personal performance in this world. And it can be hard to know what it is you're good at. Like when I was young, it's like, well, what do I run for office? Do I run cross country? Like what do I do? Try a bunch of things. Start with the things that are cheap, because your parents probably aren't going to love buying you full hockey equipment for you to try it for a month and give up, or send you off to like theater camp for 3 months and you hate it. So start small and sit and think like, what do you do that feeds your passion? Like not what you think is making you cool. I'm not talking like Snapchat, social media, shit like that. When you're at your like dorkiest, and we all have like our inner dork that we must nurture and protect at all costs, because our inner dork is what makes us interesting. What does your inner dork like to do? Write poetry? Go out in the woods and like collect weird leaves and like look at them in a little diary? That's what I did. Like make up plays and put them on like for your parents, weird stuff like that. Think about how you can translate those small interests, those dorky passions, into something larger that's connected with your school. Is there a theater club? Is there a church group? Can you start a new club on campus? And once you sort of get that down, you're going to insulate yourself from a lot of peer pressure. Because for a few things, when a guy tries to talk to you, or when anyone tries to talk to you, you're gonna have something to say back. Bored people are boring. I mean, I see you guys on Snapchat. I like low-key follow a lot of you guys on Snapchat, and I can't tell you how many of you guys are like, I'm bored, hit me up, streaks. I'm like, who wants to fucking talk to this person? Ooh, you're bored, wow, sign me up for that. I can't wait to have a dry ass conversation. What are you doing? Nothing, how about you? Nothing. Cool. I want to talk to someone who just got back from practice, who's making a sign for the pep rally, who's building a table and furniture shop. Like, I want to talk to somebody who's doing something. People with interests are interesting. So go out and get those interests. Another reason this is going to help you socially is because, so you know how they say like humans use like 10% of their brain, but like a genius uses like 11%? Like the margin is that small. You have to do just like 1% to be like so much further than the population. The same is true with confidence. I mean, the girls, when I look back, the girls and the guys, but let's focus on the girls because guys' popularity is a whole different ballgame. The girls who were the popular ones were like this much more confident. They were this much more opinionated than everyone else. And that's what it is. They had opinions, they had a backbone, they had a core of self-knowledge about who they were, and that was based on their interests. Most popular girl at our school didn't drink. She was kind of a dork, and she didn't drink because she was the captain of the soccer team. So again, that insulated her from a lot of peer pressure because people would be like, hey, like, why don't you want to drink? She's like, I'm training for the next match. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. You know what I mean? It gives you an excuse to avoid stuff you don't want to do. Like, no, I'm not going like parking down by the point because like I have to be up early because I'm training for that 5K, or I'm volunteering tomorrow at the dog shelter, or no, I can't like go hit the Jewel after school. I have play rehearsal. And people aren't going to argue with that, you know? It's like, oh, all right. So then you don't feel like you're just like going out on this weird limb, like, no, I don't want to do these things. And back to the confidence thing, you're going to pull ahead of so many people because when you have interests, you're building your self-esteem. Like I said, you're defining yourself outside of who you're dating, outside of what your grades are, outside of what your parents want you to be when you grow up. You are creating yourself, your core of values, your core of interests that matter purely to you. And this is another key part. Like, it's very easy to get caught up in things that our parents want us to do. My mom wanted me to do ballet. I hate ballet. I hate it with the fire of 1,000 suns. I like tap and I like modern dance. She wouldn't let me do it. Guess how that backfired? I dance like a hoe and I can twerk and I did belly dance for 6 years. Sorry, Mom. So my point is, following your parents' passion or what they want you to do, that's not going to give you that core. That's not going to give you that excitement about what you're doing. You have to find it. And I know maybe you have to do piano 5 days a week and it sucks. See if you can cultivate another passion just on your own. You write, you paint, you do something. Find out what it is. Whatever it might be is okay. But this is also going to give you easy ways to start conversations with people. And when people, if you're new, people are going to like ask questions about you, and you want to have something to say in return besides like, I don't know, I just transferred here. I'm from Newport. Huh, that's cool. Interested people are interesting. I hope that this has been helpful. I feel like I could talk a lot more about this, and I want you guys, I'm deliberately keeping this video short because I want you guys to like ask questions in the comment section about things you want me to expand on, and I'll do some updated videos on this. So we got a few more months until it's back to school, and we're gonna figure all of this out in the meantime, and I'm gonna send you guys back to your classrooms fucking champions. And if you don't feel like a champion, you call me. I will come with you to class. Heck, I'll come to homecoming. I've always wanted to be famous enough for like someone to invite me to like their prom or homecoming, and like even though it's so creepy that I'm so much older, the principal's like, it's okay, she's so famous. What sad goals? When I say get interests, I don't mean the ones that I have. They're terrible. They're super terrible. If you guys have questions, like I said, find me on the Instago app, Shallon XO, and click chat. And for more videos, click like and subscribe for new ones every Friday.